Top 10 states where immigrants are not allowed in the United States. Moving to a new country can be difficult, but it gets worse if you're clearly not a welcome guest. Check out these 10 states in the US with the strictest immigrant laws. Moving to any of these states could result in quick deportation or a haunted existence. Let's get into it. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like and share this video. Also, ring the notification bell so you don't miss any of our exciting videos. Number 10. Arizona. Arizona has been at the forefront of restrictive immigration policies for a long time. As far back as 2010, SB 1070 was passed into law. This law required police to verify immigration status during stops. The law also made it a crime to fail to carry immigration documents. If you think it has gotten better over the years, unfortunately, you would be wrong. Recently, the new Proposition 308 was rejected, denying in-state tuition to undocumented students. This strategically decreases the chances of obtaining education as an illegal immigrant in the state. In addition to its strict policies, the state cooperates closely with ICE, leading to increased deportations. Employers must use E-Verify, and public benefits are restricted. You can imagine how difficult it is to be an illegal immigrant in this state. Undocumented immigrants face heightened risks of detention and separation from their families. Number 9. Alabama. Alabama has one of the strongest opposition against immigration, and its laws reflect that. HB 56 in 2011 ignited the fire, mandating schools to verify student immigration status and banning businesses from hiring undocumented workers. Some statistics put Arizona's undocumented immigrant population at around 275,000. Immigration-related arrests have increased by 20% since 2020. Fast forward to 2023, and HB 376 has shifted the spotlight to local law enforcement. Representative Ernie Yarborough's bill empowers sheriffs and police to team up with federal agencies and investigate immigration status, a power once exclusive to the Attorney General. For Alabama's 55,000 undocumented immigrants, life just got tougher. E-Verify is a must for employers, public benefits are restricted, and detention risks loom. There is no better way to put this. Alabama is not the best place for undocumented immigrants. This enforcement-driven approach has not gone down well with a lot of pro-immigrant groups. Most claim that it is pitting security concerns against community cohesion. Number 8. Texas. If you're hoping to move to Texas, get ready to contend with the strictest immigration laws you can find in all of America. Texas is one of the Republican states, and as such, has stood against the federal government's leftist policies and inactive status to illegal immigration. This has led its drastic measures towards curbing the spread of illegal immigration in the state. Leveraging its 1,254-mile border with Mexico, Texas has come up with bold legislative actions. Senate Bill 4, SB 4, signed into law in 2017, prohibits sanctuary cities and allows police to inquire about immigration status during routine stops. This measure aims to cooperate with federal authorities in enforcing immigration laws. Governor Greg Abbott's Operation Lone Star has deployed state troops and law enforcement to secure the border, demonstrating Texas's commitment to curbing unauthorized entry. Additional measures reinforce this stance, including mandatory E-Verify for employers and restricted public benefits for undocumented immigrants. Number 7. Georgia. Georgia's taken immigration enforcement to the next level with House Bill 1105, HB 1105. Signed into law in May 2024, this sweeping legislation essentially turns local law enforcement into ICE agents. Police must now check immigration status, share info with ICE, and even transport non-citizens to federal facilities. The implications are far-reaching. HB 1105 mandates DNA sampling for felons and misdemeanors with ICE detainers and prevents local officials from adopting sanctuary policies. Local jurisdictions that refuse to comply face penalties. This law essentially creates a deportation pipeline, making life riskier for Georgia's estimated 250,000 undocumented immigrants. The message is clear: Georgia's not welcoming undocumented immigrants. With increased deportations, workplace raids, and restricted access to public benefits, the climate has only become more hostile. And with the new presidential administration coming in, it will only get worse. Number 6. Iowa. Iowa is one state that is not giving up on its attempt to put a stop to illegal immigration in its state. In fact, Iowa's Senate File 2340, SF 2340, was signed into law in April 2024. This strict policy on immigration is modeled after Texas SB 4. This law creates a new crime: illegal re-entry, exclusively for non-citizens. Initially a misdemeanor, it can escalate to a felony with prior drug convictions. Unsurprisingly, the law has resulted in some contention among law enforcement leaders in the state. In addition to all its restrictions, the SF 2340 also limits judges' discretion, forcing them to issue state orders of deportation. The backlash on this law has been strong. The DOJ and American Immigration Council sued Iowa, calling SF 2340 unconstitutional. A preliminary injunction halted the enforcement in June 2024. Although this has allowed immigrants some breathing space, keep in mind that with the new administration, it might be short-lived. Number 5. Louisiana. Louisiana might have a history of being influenced by immigrant cultures: African, Caribbean, French, and even Spanish. But recent developments have shown that the state is not so keen on keeping up with this trend, especially illegally. Louisiana's Senate Bill 388, SB 388, signed in June 2024, takes a cue from Texas's SB 4. But there's a twist. It only kicks in if the Supreme Court upholds Texas law or if a constitutional amendment passes, expanding Louisiana's authority over immigration. SB 388 creates new crimes for unlawful entry and re-entry, mirroring Texas's approach. The law's rationale cites human and economic costs of immigration, echoing Arizona versus United States. But it goes further, introducing an interstate compact for border security. This pact aims to unite states in controlling immigration and deterring unlawful entry. Louisiana and Texas governors will negotiate the compact's terms. And you already know Texas is everything but lenient when it comes to illegal immigration. Number 4. Oklahoma. In Oklahoma, there are over 100,000 undocumented immigrants. Not a large number in comparison to the state's average population of 4 million, but it is significant enough to be a cause for worry. Oklahoma's House Bill 4156, HB 4156, signed in April 2024, targets unauthorized immigration. The law creates a new crime: impermissible occupation, being in Oklahoma without proper paperwork. It's a misdemeanor, punishable by a year in jail or a fine, with a 72-hour exit deadline. HB 4156 mirrors Texas's approach, requiring law enforcement to collect biometric data and cross-reference databases. Local sanctuary policies are prohibited. Repeat offenders face felony charges and up to 2 years in prison. Convicted individuals are ineligible for diversion programs. Although the state issued a preliminary injunction in June 2024 and placed HB 4156 on hold, we cannot guarantee that it will be on hold indefinitely. Number 3. Tennessee. Tennessee's House Bill 2124, HB 2124, signed in April 2024, ramps up immigration enforcement and makes it another state that stands strong against immigration. Unlike Texas's SB 4, but sharing the same spirit, HB 2124 requires state law enforcement to communicate with federal officials about individuals' immigration status. Essentially, Tennessee police are expected to become de facto immigration agents. a role typically reserved for federal authorities. They must report suspected undocumented immigrants and cooperate with federal officials in identification, apprehension, detention, or removal. This law strengthens Tennessee's 2018 immigration legislation, further blurring lines between state and federal authority. While the debate over the moral standing on this is ongoing, you might want to rethink your decision to pack up and move to Oklahoma. Number 2, Missouri. Missouri is another state that has been actively addressing illegal immigration through legislation. Senator Denny Hoskins recently filed Senate Bill 1520, aiming to prohibit non-US citizens from entering the state, with offenders facing a $10,000 fine and deportation. Repeat offences would be classified as a Class E felony, imprisoned for 1 to 7 years, and an additional $10,000 fine before deportation. The state already has laws in place to curb illegal immigration. The Missouri Omnibus Immigration Act, enacted in 2007, makes it illegal to employ unauthorized aliens and requires employers to participate in the federal Basic Pilot Program to verify work authorization status. Law enforcement officers must also inquire about the immigration status of detained individuals and cooperate with federal authorities. Additionally, the state has laws banning sanctuary cities, prohibiting illegal aliens from receiving public benefits, and requiring proof of citizenship or lawful presence for driver's licenses. Number 1, Indiana. If Indiana is your next stop, back up a little, and let's talk about the recently signed Senate Enrolled Act 181, CA 181. This policy tackles illegal immigration in Indiana, targeting sanctuary cities that refuse to enforce laws against illegal immigration. This legislation strengthens Indiana's existing ban on such cities, addressing concerns about increased drug trafficking and violent crime in non-border states. CA 181 prevents local authorities from shielding undocumented immigrants from federal immigration laws. The act requires local law enforcement agencies to cooperate with federal authorities in identifying and detaining individuals suspected of being in the country illegally. This cooperation is crucial in preventing illegal activities, including drug trafficking and violent crime, associated with unauthorized immigration. CA 181's key provisions include strengthening the ban on sanctuary cities, enhanced law enforcement cooperation, and increased penalties for non-compliance. By enforcing this ban, Indiana aims to ensure public safety and uphold federal immigration laws. With the new presidential administration, there are chances that more states will develop stricter laws against illegal migration. So, if you're looking to move to the United States, try to do it the right way.